Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another brain optimization live stream. Today, we're talking about memory. And I personally believe that memory gets such an underestimated attention, or it just doesn't get what it deserves. We often think about memory is the thing to train for those people who, I don't know, participate in some quizzes or some TV shows, remembering all these facts about all the different aspects of our lives, right? We don't often think about that aspect of our memory that is about having a data set in our head to play with. Now, if you get your life experience, if you read a lot of books, if you learn a lot of things, but you have none of that remaining in your head, it's kind of like being a DJ who doesn't have any music to mix. Your brain doesn't have anything to work with to create brilliant solutions, to connect the dots that nobody else could connect because of your experience, because of your knowledge, because of your expertise. It's hard to learn new things. It's hard to make yourself irreplaceable if you don't constantly upgrade your knowledge set, right? In this era of Google, of AI, we think we can just look it all up. But the problem is that you don't know what you don't know. You don't know the pieces of knowledge that you need to look up to come up with the most brilliant and elegant solution for any situation. And also, if you are a leader, if you are an entrepreneur, a business owner, CEO or CTO, someone on leadership position, you are paid for what's in your head, for the strategies, for the solutions, for the knowledge, for the insights. You are kind of an expert everyone wants to rely on, but it's hard to rely on a person who doesn't have a lot of answers in their head. Whether you like it or not, but your career, your leadership development, your potential still pretty much depends on what you can keep in your head and how effective you are at updating that knowledge data set, right? If you like watching sometimes talks or lectures or workshops, you probably are impressed by people who can remember witty quotes or some examples from history to illustrate the point. And they automatically become an authority, a leader, someone who understands their stuff, right? You respect them. Well, the same thing happens in relation to you, your leadership. And if you're someone who people come to and you don't really have insightful solutions, something that nobody else knows, if you just, in response to somebody's request, going to say, or let me research, let me, I don't know, go and Google it, ChatGPT, whatever that is, right? You're never gonna be that person of authority, a to-go expert, someone who people respect and look up to. And you kind of, at some point, going to become one of those people, like one of the old dogs who never learn new tricks. And that's not because you are not capable of that. It's not because of your age, but it's because you never learned how your memory operates and what you need to do to remember things, not just the things that you read, but also your experience, faces, facts about other people, different examples, anecdotes, things from history, different stories, right, to illustrate your point or to have a larger data set to come up with better solutions and better ideas. So you never learn how your memory actually works and how to make it, how to prime it to work better and remember a lot more information. Not just remember, but to retain it, to use it for future solutions and to guide other people. And again, as a leader, that's your job to guide, but it's very hard to guide if you have nothing in your head and it's all the old stuff. And number two, nobody taught you that memory also is a biological process. And if you don't have certain building blocks, kind of like when you train muscles in the gym, you can train your muscles all day long. But if your protein intake is insufficient, nothing gonna develop, nothing gonna build up from thin air. Well, memory is kind of like that. We just don't think about it because it feels more of a quality of the mind, right? Not something physical. But in order to create new connections, your brain also needs to build physical structures. And that's where certain nutrients are irreplaceable. Now, of course, you have to have good nutrition overall, but there are certain nutrients that most people lack in their diet and don't get enough on a consistent basis. And that's how your memory deteriorates more and more and more. And you also accelerate your cognitive decline. And if your mind is something you cherish, if your smartness is something you value, losing your mind earlier is probably not something you want to confront in your life. You want to be capable to think. You want to be sharp, dialed in, having the answers, the insights when people come to you, having this confidence that no matter what situation comes up in your life, you're going to have the solution right here. But again, if you don't remember new things that you learn, experiences, books, stuff from your workshops, if you don't remember, don't put new stuff that permanently lives there. You're going to become, again, that old dog that never learns new tricks. And sooner or later, you're going to become outdated. And when you don't treat your memory right, meaning using the proper setup to remember things, and you don't feed your memory, you're going to become outdated again sooner than later. And all your career going to decline from that point. And so especially if you are already experiencing what they call senior moments, when you feel like something is on the tip of your tongue, but you can't really remember, you're like, I knew that, but somehow I don't remember it. Or often if you go to another room, or you decide like, I need to grab this, piece of, this note or this piece of equipment from somewhere else. And by the time you're there, you forgot why you got there in the first place. Well, that's the sign that you need to start working on your memory. And as the title of this video, of this live stream promises, I'm going to give you 4 things that you absolutely have to do regularly if you want to have the memory that is lasting, if you want to remember things a long term, if you want to not have those senior moments and with age become a more advanced expert, someone who gets more and more respect and authority versus someone who declines and at some point discarded as someone outdated. So what are those 4 hacks? They're not so much hacks because they are science-based and they're very universal. It's just most people never learn about them. And when you hear about memory experts or brain coaches, they don't really talk about this fundamental stuff much for one reason or the other. So memory hack number 1 that you absolutely have to have. If you struggle memorizing stuff when you read stuff or when you attend some workshop or some skill training, if you have troubles remembering that stuff, or in general, you find yourself in a situation when you're bored, not interested, and it is harder for you to learn, you need to get back to your reason to be better at memorizing stuff. You literally need to pump up your motivation. You need to figure out the reason why you need to learn this material, why it is important in your career, in your life, before attempting to learn, to read, to memorize anything. Now, why is that important? Why that reason is important? Why for your work, for skill training, for reading, for learning, why the reason is important. Because why the reason is the sign for your brain that there's going to be a reward. When you connect your learnings with the reward in your life, like maybe advancing your career, because now you are a to-go expert that has more insightful solutions, right? That's an amazing reason to learn and to improve your skill set. So once you understand the reason why, and your brain associates your learning with the reward, what's going to happen is you're going to boost your dopamine production in your brain. And what's that going to do? That's going to not accelerate, but it is going to boost your focus. And without focus, no learning is possible. Also, without dopamine, your focus is going to be scattered. It's going to be weaker. And again, without focus, without dopamine, there is no learning. So dopamine is essential for focus. It's not just a molecule that makes you feel good when you get stuff. It's also an essential molecule to get going after, to work on any sorts of challenges that promise rewards. So dopamine is get up, get going, get stuff done molecule. And when you understand your why, when you understand your reward in other ways, your brain releases dopamine that strengthens your focus, that is essential for your learning. And then it is much easier for you to be focused and stay focused long. And it's much easier for you to learn and memorize. The reason why a lot of people find some information is so easy to understand and some information just goes in one ear, goes out of the other, the main reason for that is the stuff you are interested in boosts that dopamine production, and that boosts your focus and your learning ability. Now, you can manufacture that. That's the beauty of human mind. You can connect your reading material or your learning material with what is important in your life by talking yourself through your reasons. Like, maybe you're about to read some boring stuff that is at first glance is boring, but when you connect it to the reason, what it's going to do in your life and how it's going to advance your career, what you're going to be better at in front of other people, that's what you actually start, now I want to learn it, now I want to understand it, now I'm interested in that, now I feel the reward in that. That's how you hack your dopamine, your focus, and that's how you increase your learning and boost your memory ability. And everything that you're going to consume in that state, whether again that's skill training or any information, everything going to stick in your mind so much better for so much longer, again, when you understand the purpose, because that boosts dopamine, that boosts focus and your learning ability. So number 2, from the why, the reason, your motivation to learn, to improve, and dopamine release that already is going to help you with focus, you need to make sure that your environment is good for focus. It is distraction proof. So you need to remove all the notifications. You need to remove all the possible distractions to the best of your ability. You need to ideally be in the environment where you are not interrupted for the amount of time you choose to learn or to study. And why is that important? Well, without focus, without attention, your learnings are either very impossible or hard. And that's how you end up reading through a book or through a page of the book and then thinking to yourself, well, I don't really remember what I just read in the last page. And that is because your focus, your attention just went somewhere else. And the more distractions you have in your environment, the more of those things are going to happen. Anything that happens in your environment, your brain is constantly monitoring. Your brain is dedicating some cognitive capacity to that. That's why if you have a phone near you, if there are people distracting you, if there are noises distracting you, what's going to happen is your brain will dedicate a lot of its capacity to all of these distractions, to just managing them, whether you actively think of that or not. And then less and less resources and focus and attention are going to be available for whatever it is you are learning, you are studying. And that's how you can accelerate your learning ability 2, 3, 4x and more when you just eliminate all the distractions and you completely focus on that learning material. And then you won't need any super reading techniques or any other memory tricks and hacks. If you just do this 2 things really well, you understand your important emotionally charged reason for learning, for getting better at that specific material, at these specific skills. And number two, if you eliminate distractions in your environment. A lot of clients I work with, they say, well, I now learned how to make my environment distraction proof. And all of a sudden I started to read all that much faster, and I understand everything so much deeper and better and faster. It's like my brain developed a superpower, and all you did is you eliminated all the stuff that would take your brain's resources. And now all of your brain's resources are focused on just one thing. And that's why you read faster, you memorize better, and you retain that knowledge for longer, right? So first two hacks, you understand your emotional reason to learn this stuff. Like, why is this important in my life? Do you just do it for the, to just do it? Rarely, if ever, in life we do that. So just get better and understanding your emotional reason, the importance of learning this thing that is in front of you. Or when you read something, right? If you want to retain information, if you want to learn it, always ask yourself, what am I about to read or learn, and why do I need it in my life? Why is that important? Then you eliminate all distractions in your environment, and you are already a lot further into accelerating learning and great memory experience and skill set. Now, the other two hacks, not so much again hacks, but something that is essential for great memory, not just good to have, but actually essential. So the third part of it is what you do after your learning bout. Learning is kind of like going to the gym, in a sense that when you go to the gym and you train your muscles, the growth of muscles and the ability of your body to acquire physical skills actually happens not in the gym, but when you sleep. They did a lot of research with cognitive testing and also learning physical skills, like, when you learn certain moves and then you got to repeat them the next day or the day after that. And so what they found is, if a person doesn't sleep after that learning bout, their ability to recall the information or to repeat that physical skill diminished by up to 60-70%. So sleep, in that sense, is what sleep for exercise. You don't build muscles in the gym, you cheer them up there. You build them while you sleep. And the same for memory, and the same for learnings. You don't build your memory. You don't remember stuff during actual learning experience. That's when you just prime your brain, you prime your body. And then when you sleep, that's when your brain does this very important job, putting your memories, your skills that you accumulated during the day into long-term storage. So you actually can remember it the next day, the day after, and the week from there. And then if you use it, if you incorporate it, if you recall it, it's going to be with you forever. It's going to become a part of you, right? But that transfer from short-term memory that you're going to forget tomorrow to a long-term storage, that happens during the night. And if you sleep poorly every night, do not be surprised that you remember very little, and it's very hard for you to learn new tricks or new skills. And you kind of, again, like that old dog with no new tricks. And you think that, it might be age. Well, might be your poor sleep hygiene, your poor sleep skills, and just not paying enough attention, not giving enough respect to your sleep. So hack number 3, sleep. After you learn skills, and before also, like if you come to a skill training with 5-6 hours of sleep, your ability to learn is going to be diminished by a lot. Your ability to focus is going to be diminished by a lot. And you're just going to make it so much more difficult for your brain to learn. And then if your sleep after that is also compromised, forget about it. It's like the training never happened. So I want you to understand how much influence you have on your own ability to learn and memorize really, really fast, and how much it has to do with your biology, and how much of it you can be compromising by doing things the dumb way, not understanding how your memory, biology, and retaining knowledge and skills actually works, right? So first, we got the reason why it is important to learn whatever is in front of you. Number two, we have environment that is focused, conducive, that makes it easier for you to pay attention to one thing. And number three, we get sleep, good quality sleep after you're learning, after you're, you expose yourself to a lot of information, facts, and you need to remember that. And then four, like the last but not least, for sure, not least, again, back to this exercise metaphor. It's going to be very hard to grow that memory muscle if you don't give your brain the building blocks it needs to build memory. And there are two molecules that need to be present in your brain to make your memory formation optimal. Number one, neurotransmitter, acetylcholine, that is made of food stuff, choline. I'm not gonna, bug you with all these names, but I just want to make it clear where you can eat it. Eating 3-4 eggs a day will do the job. That's where choline, richest source of choline. Also liver, but not a lot of people in my coaching experience are fans of liver, even though I love it. So 3-4 eggs. And then if you don't eat that and you avoid all kinds of different foods and your diet is suboptimal in general, you need to supplement. And the supplement is the best one working alpha GPC that is in the brain made into that acetylcholine, a memory molecule. They actually give it to people who suffer with things like Alzheimer's or dementia. And when you get enough of that choline, that acetylcholine produced in your brain, your cognitive decline is going to be slowed down by a lot. And you're going to prevent things like dementia, Alzheimer's, senior moments. You're going to prevent that decline, that accelerated decline. And that will boost your memory formation, that will give your brain that needed essential building block for memory formation. Acetylcholine, folks, is also important for digestion, muscle contraction, for rest and digest state to recover, and for a lot of other things. But it is a very essential memory molecule. It got its nickname because it is so crucial for great memory, for memory formation, and to prevent cognitive decline and losing your mind, and definitely losing all of your expertise and expert status. And by the way, folks, if you have any questions about those supplements, then please do let me know underneath this video, and I'll answer all of your questions. It's a very easy and natural supplement to find. Dosage matters. And again, for most folks, I recommend to supplement with that because not so many people are fans of eggs and liver like myself. The second molecule that is essential for not just memory formation, but for learning, for neuroplasticity, for brain health in general, for great cognitive performance, omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, that is a kind of omega-3 fatty acids, and that is the stuff that your brain uses to build new neural connections. And without new neural connections, your learning and skill acquisition is not going to be optimal. And most people kind of like, omega-3s, omega whatever. It's kind of like another one of those supplements. But there is so much research by now showing that the more omega-3s, of course, in the normal amounts, not like super high dose. So the more omega-3s are in people's diet, the more consistent that is, the better are all health outcome, but specifically the better cognitive performance, brain health, and your learning ability. And you're not going to, again, have problems with your cognitive performance and cognitive decline for many, many, many more years than somebody who doesn't have that in your diet. So the recommended amount, 2-3 grams per day. And not just, fish oil, but actual omega-3s and EPA plus DHA. So again, if you have any questions about the specific, let me know. For now, let's just recap. So in order to have great memory, in order to be a to-go expert, become a charismatic speaker, leader, someone who people come for insightful solutions and ideas and breakthrough, something that will solve complex problems. If you want people to admire you, and to respect you, if you want to be well paid for your brilliant strategies and answers, if you want to lead people with, again, very smart and very effective strategies for as many years as possible into the future, you really want to respect your memory. And you do that by learning how to memorize and learn, and that is understanding your reason, creating the environment for focus. Then you got to sleep well, because that's where memory consolidation happens. And number 4, you got to feed your brain to help it build the memories, physical structures that accommodate the memories, and also creating brain chemistry that is essential for memory formation. Here we have alpha GPC as a supplement and omega-3. And why I say supplements, because for most people, introducing the sources of those elements into your diet is going to be close to impossible in your already busy life. And that's about it, folks. By the way, we have brain nutrition for optimal performance memory, including in our upcoming 6-week Mind Optimized Brain Challenge. So check it out. The link is underneath this video. And also ask questions and stay tuned for the next video tomorrow, where I'm going to talk about fatigue, burnout, how to learn how to switch off, relax, and chill so you could recover to go at high speed again consistently till you get your vision done. So stay tuned, check out the link underneath this video, ask questions, and I'll see you soon. Have an awesome rest of the day.